The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules, you will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
What disaster is so powerful, it unleashes a chain of mass pandemics, economic meltdowns, and violent food riots, all at the same time? NASA has already set the countdown timer, and right now the 21st century apocalypse is less than 13 months away. Former CIA Director James Woolsey says 2/3 of U.S. population could perish. In a matter of seconds, the world as we know it will cease to exist. The world's economy will be wiped out. Mass riots will follow. Ancient diseases will reemerge. How will you shield yourself and your loved ones from this upcoming apocalypse? Go to darkestdays.info to find out proven methods of protecting yourself, your loved ones, and even your entire community when this worst-case scenario unravels. That's darkestdays.info. darkestdays.info. Go there before this life-saving information becomes unavailable to the large public. Go to darkestdays.info now.
USA! 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 USA!
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
The Alex Jones Show, because there is a war on for your mind.
I'm watching a superclass of predators suck humanity dry, dumb us down and prepare us for the final feast. I don't like it. Never liked bullies, never will. And I'm here to just rally people. I believe in you. I believe not just in our great listeners who are obviously already awake and know what's going on, but to new listeners and to people that our listeners reach out to. I believe that you need to know what's going on in the world and that God is warning you through 1,000 different messages out there every day that we're in crisis. We've been robbed. Our free society's been taken over. We're being turned into an engine of global domination as a military force. They are converting our industrial economy not to a service economy, but to a prison, industrial, complex, surveillance grid, spy economy. We are converting to a 1984 scenario. integrated with the THX 1138 Brave New World system. And Huxley, before he died in 1962, gave a speech at Berkeley. We've played. His brother, of course, headed up UNESCO and the UN program to standardize planetary operations. And he said, this is the real plan. That's how I wrote Brave New World in 1932. And he said, by the next century, we intend to realize our program. There's the CNN headline. Police radar could detect texting while driving. You scroll down and see through walls. See, 2 weeks ago, they come out and show a 20-year-old thing that barely shows what's happening in your house. Now it's, oh, look, we have others that it's totally crisp. All it is a portable Xbox projector. Xbox looks through your walls. Xbox Connect. It's the same crap. Sonar. With a chip so sensitive, it gives them a crisp image. You can tune it through how many walls you want. You can tune it right through somebody's clothing. You can then change the functions and add color to it. And it's inexpensive units. They're now rolling out nationwide. Just like last year, about 6 months ago, the feds got caught. We caught them years ago. We did break it. I'm just telling you, we know what we're talking about. On record, we broke it. But Homeland Security, we go, oh, we don't know what these are. Hackers must have put up fake cell towers. Oh, yeah, right. You know, huge ones all over the country. And the FBI came out and said, those aren't ours. And then a month later, it came out in court. It was all theirs. I remember reading in MIT publications 15, 16, 17 years ago. This was about 97, that they were reading our license plates nationwide and putting it in a database. Here it is in The Guardian. It's come out in federal court here, same thing in Europe. DEA using license plate readers to take photos of U.S. drivers, documents reveal. Over 200 million Americans are tracked everywhere they go and everything you do, and it's all recorded in a permanent database to stop the drugs being shipped in. Give me a break. They bring the drugs in, and the DEA is there to make sure that no cowboys cut into the market. Period. Period. It was the Roosevelts at the end of Prohibition. The Roosevelt family were the public family with the opium monopoly through the Russell Trust. Since 1740 or so, they had the monopoly out of British East India to bring into Boston and New York the opium that was sold at apothecaries, drugstores everywhere. Cough syrup was opium-based. Laudanum. And their monopoly was broken by trust-busting laws, so they just made it illegal and kept shipping it right in. Right into New York and Boston, right in front of everybody. But now you didn't buy it for 15 cents at the corner store. You paid $10 for it. And now you pay $100 or $200 for it. That's how you run a black op. And the public absolutely loves it. They love getting thrown in prison for being dumb enough to use opiates, either prescription or illegal. That's how you run an operation on the slaves. And the slaves love it. They love it. Here's the article. Economist new bill turns TSA into tax police. Legislation would create Berlin Wall around all Americans. They're already doing it, but now they just want to codify it. Like they already have FEMA camps, but then they introduced the bill, Emergency Centers Establishment Act, to give, billions of dollars a year to it and make it congressionally recognized. Kind of like they've been spying with the NSA illegally for decades. They get caught, then they try to pass laws to reform it that then legalize it. Sorry, you can't legalize murder even if you say it's legal. I guess you did with killing babies, so I'm wrong. Economist Martin Armstrong warns that a new bill which directs the TSA to apprehend and investigate anyone, quote, suspected of committing a crime would turn the federal agency into a new branch of the IRS. Well, that's the plan, yeah. Told you. In fact, I work for the IRS, and the IRS is going to enforce Obamacare and everything else because it works for the Federal Reserve. The TSA Office of Inspection Accountability Act, H.R. 719, introduced on Wednesday by U.S. Representative John Katko, would require TSA criminal investigators to spend a minimum of 50% of their time investigating, apprehending, or detecting individuals suspected of committing a crime. I thought it was for terrorism and the evil Saudis, so we had to blow up Iraq. It was never for that. Man, I'm getting so angry I can hardly breathe. According to Armstrong, legislation would create a new kind of Berlin Wall around all Americans, close quote. because it would provide the federal agency with a huge remit to prevent people from traveling. Well, yeah, internal police, internal checkpoints, the cherry on top, the 180-degree conversion from liberty to all-out tyranny. Katko is a former federal prosecutor, so he knows precisely what he's doing, writing a law that is so broad that anyone suspected of a crime cannot leave the country, writes Armstrong. This is any crime, and it's by the TSA and the feds. No judge, no jury, no indictment, no nothing. Keeping gold in a safe deposit box is money laundering. Current 25 years in prison under this. Yeah, notice the IRS has been taking small diners' money that they've kept, in a bank and that they deposit every day, saying it's illegal to do that. It's not illegal. They just say it is. That's New York Times, by the way. The bill would now result in the arrest of anyone for any alleged crime whatsoever, and that will also apply to taxes. Well, yeah, that's what the TSA tried that 2 years ago, to say you can't leave if the IRS says so. Warns The Economist, accusing the congressman of converting the TSA into a police force less concerned about air safety and focused more on catching anyone the government can argue violates some law, federal or state. And I love how this top economist is a smart guy, but hasn't studied this like I have every day, every waking hour, basically. I watch C-SPAN. This was the plan from the beginning. And it's not just in the airports. He's reading this bill thinking, oh, in the airports, this economist probably doesn't know they're already in every city. Mike Hansen called me from Gonzales. He used to be my camera guy and did a lot of video editing for me. He helped me after Buckley helped me the first few years. Mike helped me for a long time. And so Mike's grandfather died and gave him a bunch of houses and land and hotels in Gonzales, Texas, the birthplace of Texas, by the way. That's where Come and Take It comes from. And he called me up all out of breath yesterday, and he's got audio of it and everything. I'm trying to get him in here next week. He's about 80 miles away. And he said, my gosh, I was just at city council about some zoning stuff, and they had 5 feds there, and they had a ceremony federalizing Gonzales and saying they'll now run the department. And he said, you're going to run things? And they said, yes. And he put in a FOIA request, and they said it's basically classified in local government. And the police chief called Mike aside, because Mike's a big wheel in the town, and said, we can't have you doing this, Mike. And Mike said, excuse me? He goes, you understand me? You're not going to stop this. I mean, this country is just so gone, folks. This is happening everywhere. I mean, my God, we're being criminally taken over. And the DEA was there saying, you're all going to be rich. We're going to asset forfeiture seizure in your department, here in your city and off this highway, and we're going to give 80% of the money to your local police. And that's been going on forever, but now they're publicly federalizing. And that's just a microcosm of what's happening in the macro. And the article just goes on. I mean, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm warning you. This is going on. This is happening. Where are the legislatures? Well, they're starting to move on it. But that's why Texas 3 years ago said, you know what, you keep groping all our legislators and doing this. We're going to kick the TSA out, order the state police to start arresting you when you grab genitals. It is assault. We had prosecutors on from California starting to do the same thing. And Obama said, all right, F-16s are on standby. We're going to force down any aircraft that enter Texas. We're going to have a federal blockade. That was in USA Today like it was no big deal. The legislature says, you're not going to grab people's genitals. And the feds say F-16s are standing by. Because the TSA is the center of their takeover and the center of their federalization to create a whole new bureaucracy, a domestic security force just as big, just as strong as our military, to quote Obama. And this is it. And understand, it transcends Obama. It's a larger blueprint announced within months of 9/11, but planned by the RAND Corporation and the Hart-Rudman Commission of the Council on Foreign Relations in 1999. That's in my films, Road to Tyranny and others, them saying it. I have the video, the Hart-Rudman Commission, admitting they took the RAND Corporation plan for the domestic national police force, the National Stabilization Police Force. I mean, do you understand, folks? They're doing this because they're going to take your pension funds. They're going to put a lot of people in forced labor. They're going to totally open the borders and make us a giant third world hell. I mean, it's on. Now, who are these people that are doing this? Well, here's the headline. U.S. considers declassifying report on Saudi funding of al-Qaeda.